Welcome to Texas Stadium for StarTelegram.com. I'm Cowboys beat writer Mac Engel, joined by my colleague Clarence E. Hill Jr. Following the Cowboys' big 31-22 win against the Bengals. Clarence, Cowboys win. Is it just me, or does this feel like a loss?
It doesn't feel like a loss, but because they did win.
Yeah,
a win is a win, and a loss is a loss, and they get credit for winning because there are a lot of favorites that lost on Sunday, including like San Diego went down.
Colts barely won in Houston.
Yeah, so you don't always win pretty, but there is a problem with this team.
What's the problem?
I mean, they're not playing well. I mean, they haven't played well for a couple of weeks, and maybe the problem is the fact that they're in denial about it. It's something that we saw at the end of last season when they weren't playing well and they kept saying everything's fine, fine. And that's cropping up right now.
You've seen it before. We talked about it in December, and I was of a mind in December when they said, we're fine. I believed them. Then they went out and lost against the Giants. Considering how well they didn't play in December, now where they are now, are you out of a mind, Clarence, to say, I don't buy it?
Well, I don't buy it, but, it's a good thing. Maybe losing early is better than losing late. Maybe they can get that out of the way. And Tony Romo talked about learning how to win, learn how to win these struggles when things aren't going so well. That's good. But the bottom line is, don't act like there's nothing wrong. And the Cowboys are acting like nothing wrong. And we don't act like nothing's wrong, and you don't do it.
Okay, if you had to identify one or two things real quick, what's wrong?
Well, I mean, clearly, I don't know, because Romo hasn't played well, hasn't played well in a while. I mean, he's had a turnover every game this season. He has turnover in 8 straight games dating back to last year. That's the longest such streak in the league. Clearly, it's not that big of a deal as he says right now because they're winning, but that could be a problem down the road because in big playoff games, he has turned them all.
I think the other thing, too, that we've seen is this team really hasn't put a complete game together. There's always been something wrong. The Eagles, the defense was bad. Washington, nothing really went right. This game, they had this team.
Well, the game was 17-0. It should have been over.
It totally should have been over, and they didn't put their foot on their throat. So, no, I think the thing that bothers me more about this team is, one, they're really defensive about any type of criticism, which comes from their head coach. Right. And two, I just don't think the fact that there are other teams that are this close. It's not like they're that much better than other teams.
Yeah, they can lose to others. They can lose to the Giants, the Redskins, the Eagles. This team is not infallible. This team is not invincible. They can be beat. And the thing that we saw today that's even more troubling than they're on the field, they're starting to feel the heat off the field. They're starting to feel a little pressure in the locker room.
And what do you say? I mean, you've been around teams, bad teams. Bad teams. This team's 4-1. Right. Do they even really have any idea what real pressure and
no,
heat's like?
But if you go back to the locker room, and we need to finish up because it's been a long
day.
It's been
a long day.
And a long interview, but Coach Wade Phillips went after a Star Telegram column based on a question.
Which one would you be talking about? Randy Galloway?
Galloway said something about the Cowboys stinking for most of the game, and Wade kind of
uttered the phrase,
"You stink." He said he was talking to himself, but he looked like he was talking to Randy after he got up the podium. Tony Romo talked about the local media picking on the team, and we just want to highlight every bad thing they do, and it's overblown. And Terrell Owens, he cried on the field
after a
touchdown because of all the stuff of the past week that was criticized, and he read a short statement in the locker room.
And then split.
Read a short statement talking about God, and he's a Christian, and all the
It's bizarre behavior, wouldn't you say?
It's all bizarre.
It is bizarre, and this team what's really weird is this team's 4-1. They've got 2 opponents coming up, and the Cardinals and the Rams. They should just show up and be able to beat. Although Arizona looks a little bit better than the Rams, the Cowboys are looking at 6-1, and this will be the most criticized 6-1 team in the league.
Oh no, it's always me. It's our fault.
It's our fault. It is our fault. We're the reason that Tony Romo fumbled, threw an interception, and whatever else. We're the reason, Clarence and I, why this team is struggling at 4-1. Okay, we've talked too much. Cowboys play in Arizona next week. For StarTelegram.com, he's the reason the Cowboys are 4-1. Clarence E. Hill Jr., I'm Mac Engel.